Good evening, beautiful people. It is yours truly, Tammy B and company. And I just want to welcome every one of you amazing people for being with us this evening, along with my peeps, my man, Mr. Shelly Sims. Hey, Mr. Shelly.
Hello, hello, hello.
And of course, my girl Cola E the Great. How are you, Miss Cola?
I am wonderful, fantastic.
Looking all refreshed and revived, all tanned up as she just spent about 9 glorious days in sunny South Florida.
Yes, yes, yes.
All smiles. And our special guest, Mr. Brian Seymour. Hey, Brian.
Hey Tammy, how you doing? Very happy to be here with you all.
We are so happy to have you with us this evening. And so, listen, guys, this is the show where we are recording live so that you can actively engage in our conversation via the YouTube chat. So, when I get it right, because I keep having technical difficulties with it. But if you are watching via another platform and have something to say, join us on YouTube so that we'll be able to hear from you. And if you are on YouTube, please, sir, please, ma'am, drop us some questions and or comments. So, and I will share as many of them with the panel as I can. Also, want to ask if you're not part of our community, please join us by subscribing as we are here weekly at 7:30 p.m. with new content. So now, Cola, tell us a little bit about your last your vacation, because I see the glow. I see the glow, and it's not the
Is it
glare.
really? Are you just talking?
I see you go. You smile
Really?
all full of smiles and got a little like you don't put some extra oil on your skin or something. I see the little glow.
Wow. Okay, well, I mean, listen, girl, I love Florida. That's my favorite place on earth. You know it. And I mean, and I've traveled. I've been all through Europe, gone all throughout the Caribbean, but I love Florida. I love Florida, South Florida. So, yeah, but I haven't gone to Africa. But yeah, I mean, we traveled, got away from the everyday norm, and was with family and friends and you, and just had a good time. Just getting a breath of fresh air. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Slept in late, and my daughter at the Airbnb, she would make us breakfast every morning and serve it to us in bed. Yes. So, yeah, we had a good time. And then from Florida, after leaving the family reunion and staying for a week, we then drove to Mississippi to my uncle's family reunion, and the one who I told you who's related to Dred Scott. Um, so went down there and had fun with his family. Had another Airbnb on a ranch. So we had a good time. It was a good little getaway.
That is awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I definitely see the fruits of your labor. So, and I don't know if you're intending to, but part of your forehead is cut off. I don't know if it's to remove that glare of the good
I'm a
vibes.
fix it in a little bit.
Okay, all right. Just
I'm a
wanted to
fix
let you
it.
know. Just wanted to let you know.
I'm a fix it in a little
and
bit.
and and our resident realtor, Mr. Shelly, is back in the house. Shelly,
Mhm.
what's good with you, my man?
Same old same, just work, trying to keep it together. That's all. Keep the family right and tight. That's it.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
that's good stuff right there,
yeah.
boy. We
Trying
need
to,
the family right. We need it
yeah.
tight. We need everybody together. Yes, yes.
That's that man business right there.
That grown man business.
That grown man
That,
business.
that
Yeah.
grown man business. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's put that capital
Yeah,
GROWN
I'll
on
take
that.
it. I'll take it.
And
Yeah.
Shelly, I was gonna ask you last week, but when is your birthday?
January 26th.
Okay, so you're a cat. You're
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Uh-huh.
That explains some things.
Oh, I'm
Brian
not into
started smiling.
astrology, but I don't know.
That explains the thing. Now this is interesting because you about the third Aquarius I done ended up talking about in the last couple of days. And one thing y'all tend to know a lot. I
We
think
know a
y'all
little
do.
something. We know a
Y'all,
little something.
yeah, very, very knowledgeable. And I do have a problem being wrong at times. I don't think
Cause
y'all
we're
wrong.
usually not.
See,
Okay.
see, my point proven.
Okay. Oh, and Brian is shaking his head.
No, like when Shelly said, like, I don't really believe in astrology, but like I'll take the compliments. Like I was kind of feeling the same way. Like I'll take the good stuff, like it ain't that bad stuff. Like
So it's a cafeteria thing. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this, but I'm not gonna take that.
need the rest. Take what I like, leave what I don't.
But look, you know what? I feel you because I'm mixed with Scorpio, and we have some. I mean, Scorpios. You know, we loving, fun, loyal people, but we have that stinger. So, but then you have some good Scorpios, and then you have some messy Scorpios.
But
So,
you know what I call it? I call when it comes to signs, there is like, once you mature, because in life we learn things. Once you
mhm,
mature and you learn, you actually do better.
yes,
So you have those who resonate in the low vibrational sign of, would you say Scorpio or Aquarius, or yeah. And then you have some that are learning and they're like mid vibrational. Then you have some that have really, really learned and mastered and they're high vibrational. So that's, well, I can't say I'm not high vibrational. I'm working on it.
I
I'm
mean,
working on it.
I mean,
I'm
look,
I'm I'm working on it every day. I'm working on it. But I'm not as low as I used to be.
woo, that's a loaded comment.
But none of us are. If you've lived in life and you acquire knowledge and wisdom and you utilize it, you're never going to be as low as you came in as.
Yes, facts, facts,
Yeah.
facts.
So we're always growing. So
Yes,
that's a good, that's not a bad statement. That's a compliment to myself.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, and Brian, I gotta welcome you again. And before I ask what's good with you, I want to tell the folks a little bit about you, sir. Brian is the visionary and founder of Principle of Prosperitage Wealth, which is a fee only registered investment advisor committed to closing the racial wealth gap by empowering Black and BIPOC professionals with unbiased financial planning and wealth management. With over a decade of experience at Fortune 100 firms, Brian launched his firm south of Atlanta to deliver a high fiduciary standard, issuing sales pitches, commissions, and corporate jargon. So he could be on the same side of the tables as clients, offering the kind of service he would seek for his own grandmother. Welcome again, Brian. Thanks for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Absolutely, really appreciate it. And everything's going great with me. I mean, not as good as Cola. I wasn't down in Florida last week, enjoying myself, getting my tan on, but things have been going great. Really excited to be here. Yeah,
Well,
thank you. I really appreciate it.
well, thank you. We are so excited to have you.
Yeah.
We are so
Yes.
excited to have you. Okay, so question for the panel. What's a hobby you could talk about for hours?
For me, it's talking.
You gonna talk about talking?
I, I love talking about interesting things and I love learning.
Yes. Yes. Was interesting. We probably on the same calf on that. But my hobby would be more in encouraging others and motivating them and transforming, helping to them to transform their thoughts. So my hobby that I could talk about, how can I help make you a better person? That's a hobby that I love doing. I'm passionate about. Shelly, Brian, y'all think of anything yet?
The hobby that I definitely do the most is definitely golfing. I think I've played 80 rounds so far this year. But I think you just talking about talking about something.
Yes.
Oh, it would be music. I think music is the thing that I would spend the most time that we could talk about any genre, any
Yeah.
decade, and just argue, go back and forth. Music and sports would be the two things that I would talk the most about.
Music is one of my things to talk about too. Like talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
I love music. In fact, you know what? This weekend I switched over. I realized I hadn't listened to jazz in a while, so I switched over to jazz. I'm like, man, I've been slacking. I need to get back on my jazz. Chuck Mangione feels so good. When I tell you that is my, ooh, I love that song along with Paul Hardcastle. Oh my God, Summer Madness. Oh yeah, I was vibing to all of that. Shelly, you still thinking? You got an
Yeah,
answer
I don't
for
know.
me?
I don't know. I like. I could probably talk about anything, but if I had to choose something, I really like talking about history. Probably history. Yeah, I like
That too.
pre
That too.
pre
That too.
history. Yeah,
So, and
I like all history.
so what I'm
Hmm.
getting out of this is teaching. All of us seem to like teaching and learning.
Uh-huh.
Those are hobbies that
Hmm.
I'm
Definitely.
getting out of this teaching and learning.
Yeah, and I would definitely say, which I did, and teaching is the one too. And I, in conversations, that's a part of my talking. I just it naturally comes out. It just comes out. You don't even try to do it. But I see Shelly as that too. I think I've talked long enough with Shelly to see that that is what he does too. Even just not even trying is just a natural part of his makeup.
To do
I
what now? To say it again?
Teach,
Teaching.
teach.
I love teaching.
Yeah, it's just a natural part of your makeup. You don't try to do it; it just comes out. And I'm wired the same way. It just comes out.
I like connecting the dots when people
That
can't have like two bits on. I love connecting the dots. Like, well, this is
yeah,
between or this is
yeah,
what I got there.
yeah.
So I'm gonna give y'all a connection with that statement. So I'm listening to Mel Robbins' book, Take Control of Your Life, and she's having a session with a gentleman who so happens to be a teacher. And part of his problem is he always needs to be doing something for growth and as a teacher, I guess you it kind of can kind of fall into a mundane routine. So he's like in a dealing with fear for some other things, but part of it has to do with like, okay, I need to be doing something. I like to teach people other than just my students. Like he's like, I want to do a winery and teach people about different wines and things like that. So sometimes I guess what I'm saying is with teachers, it's a combination of we teach and then we like to be taught. If that makes sense. It's like iron
Teacher,
sharpening iron.
yeah, teachers are natural lovers of education. And when I say education, I don't necessarily mean formal education, just learning, period, education. Teachers are natural teachers are natural lovers of new knowledge
I
and
like
wisdom.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good. Okay, so let me give y'all the little fun food fact for today. So today's fun food fact is it's National Cheesecake Day. What's your favorite cheesecake? You don't
None.
like cheesecake over
Mm-mm.
None.
Shelly? Yeah, Brian, you thinking?
I had a really good. I think it was a key lime cheesecake that was really good. I'm trying to remember where it was from.
Was it a cheesecake or just key lime pie?
Oh, it was a key lime cheesecake. Like, yeah, they did it both. I'm trying. Man, I wish I.
I used to make a strawberry cheesecake one time.
Yeah,
I heard
strawberry
there's a place
cheesecake
here in
is.
Atlanta called what you say?
I was gonna say strawberry cheesecake, but I thought that was like the most basic answer I could give. So I wanted to give a little
We
bit.
need authentic answers. We need authentic answers.
I had to think. I'm like, what is the one cheesecake that made me like, oh, this is, and it was a key lime cheesecake. Now I need to figure out where it was at.
You know who made who? Okay, my favorite is the Dolce de Leche that Copeland's. Like, cause I love praline, I love
Copeland got
caramel,
some good food.
huh?
Copeland has some really good food.
Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
I was told there's a place over here, I think in East Point somewhere called Sammy's Cheesecake that I was told has some really good cheesecake. So I have to try that. But the other food fact for today is it's National Chicken and Waffles Day.
Okay.
Yes, to which my favorite chicken and waffles is Roscoe's out in California and Lolo's in Arizona. And actually, I
Okay.
think Lolo's is in Nevada now too. Have
I
anybody?
never got the. I never understood the concept of chicken and waffles.
Okay, see, I was
I
gonna
just,
hold off and
yeah,
give a popular opinion, but I like waffles. I like
I like
chicken. I don't
exactly.
understand having both of them at the same time. Like,
I don't.
is that seems like somebody was drunk and like went to the thing like, what do I have left?
Don't
I got some chicken. Let me just throw this in
it? It just don't go.
a real meal that you should have, like syrup
Yeah,
chicken. Nah.
it
Well,
just
y'all
doesn't
clearly
go.
don't go to brunch a lot because they on everybody brunches
Oh, I
menu.
know, especially in the
Yeah,
summer.
but I don't go to. I don't. I mean, they have more than that on the brunch menu. So if I do go to brunch, I don't get that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I didn't. It took me a while to get into it, and it's not like I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go to have chicken and waffles. All right, but if you got some really good seasoned chicken, so maybe that's where I'm going. Lolo's and Roscoe's has some really good seasoned chicken. You add some waffles to go with that, and some good
Why? Just
That
why?
was my question. Like, who sat
It
there and
just
said,
don't
let's
make
do this
sense.
combination? Let's have some chicken and some waffles and put them on top of each other. Like, what?
I think it's just something that somebody came up with. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon and went with it. You know how we do. It just doesn't make sense in my mind.
I imagine it was somebody that was picky to like the bacon wasn't enough. Like they were having breakfast and the bacon wasn't enough. Like the little ham wasn't enough. And they're like, nah, I need more protein. And they didn't want to go, maybe couldn't afford steak. And they're like, yo, we got some chicken wings in there. Let's do that with the waffles. Like, because it wasn't like a good idea. It was definitely born out of necessity. It was definitely born out of necessity.
so maybe a pescatarian,
Something.
someone
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
don't.
That I think chicken and waffles sound like someone who eats a lot of different things and was just like,
And you know
I
what,
ain't never
y'all?
had this before. Let me try this.
I'm so glad y'all are being honest about this because I never voiced that out loud. I just never got it and I never voiced it. I never ate it, never went to a chicken and waffle place. But I'm glad to see that there's other people that understand. And like it just don't make sense.
I was gonna give it a second to make sure I was the only contrarian, but yeah, nope.
Okay, so I'm the only one who has indulged in chicken and waffles. Got
You're
it.
not the only one. There's a whole lot of y'all.
On this platform, on this
Yeah, on
platform.
this
Yeah,
platform. So
on
it's
this platform.
one out of four.
Okay. Okay.
But you
Well,
got the rest. You got the rest of the people that they like it too.
I mean, like I said, well, I didn't say, but I prefer bacon. Give me the pig, oink oink, and the cheese grits and all that stuff. So, but and then actually, I think I would get pancakes over waffles, but they got to be good pancakes. They got to be good
Mhm.
pancakes because
I feel like I
everybody.
should have ate more before this discussion. Like I'm getting hungry all over again. We have to go to the next topic. Go to the next non-food related topic.
The next non-food related topic. This is hilarious. Okay, today is Father's Day, and Father-in-law Day. It's Father-in-law Day,
I didn't know that they had a day.
honey. There's a day for almost everything, and then
It
there's
is.
International Day of Friendship. And see, Shelly, as our friend, we missed you last week.
I,
We
I, I,
missed you, Shelly.
I felt it so much. I feel bad now because
No, don't feel
I
bad.
do
Nope.
better. I know better, so I should have done better.
No, don't feel
No,
bad.
it's nothing to feel bad about.
Yeah.
No,
Things
not
happen.
bad in that way. I don't have a big
Yeah,
enough.
just know that you were loved always when you're not with us.
You
Okay,
you cared for us, Shelly. We were worried.
we're
We really were.
family.
We
Look.
really were.
We never followed up, but you were supposed to go to Orlando with me to meet Cola at the family reunion, but
I
we never
know.
followed up on that. So Cola gonna
Oh,
have
Shelly would have had a good time.
yeah, you would have. We boots
Lord,
on the ground and we did the country girl or half did it because I don't know it all. I'm learning it, but we had a good time.
Cousin Pete was there. Was Cousin Pete there?
We ain't got. Listen, we don't have a cousin Pete in the family.
All right.
Look, and we don't.
Oh
have
no, did you?
Ray.
Hold on, did you have cousin Pete? Hold on, what is cousin Pete? What first? Let's clarify.
That was from was it Johnson Family? What was that from? Johnson Family Reunion?
I don't know. I was thinking
Or Medea. It was Medea. One of them movies. It was cousin.
Oh, I was thinking Poetic Justice.
Was
yeah,
that
it may have been that. I didn't know it was from a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, families have all kind of characters.
Mm-hmm.
All kind.
You don't say.
Yeah.
You don't say. Look, at least I don't think these days they have too many Medeas. I see Medea has kind of.
I'm almost sure it has to be because I know the reference that I don't watch Tyler Perry. Like I'm almost sure it was Cousin Pete who Tupac was walking up to when they went to the cookout. He's like, Cousin Pete. He's like, you don't remember me, Lil Lucky?
I remember. Yes.
Come on. Yeah. Like that's the reference I know. So
that was it.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. See,
yeah,
Brian, divine.
Y'all were making me feel young and then old at the same. And I'm like, wait a second. Like I hope we're talking about Poetic Justice because if not, I'm really dating.
I remember that exact scene, the way that they played it, but I forgot Cousin Pete's personality. But I remember the introduction.
Yeah, he just the old welcoming. Everybody welcome. We got food. You eat food. Like
Oh yeah, that's Tammy's family.
Guess what? All y'all
No,
wrong.
that's a good thing. Everybody's welcoming.
All y'all wrong. Cousin Pete was from the movie Soul Food.
Soul Food.
For real?
Well, maybe it was two Cousin Pete. Maybe it was two Cousin Pete.
Yeah, because I remember that scene with Tupac and Poetic Justice.
Yeah, I think so too. So it was two Cousin Pete.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
funny. Remember who Pete was in Soul Food now.
Now I gotta watch Soul Food.
How do we get back to food again? I thought we were supposed to be getting away from food. Somehow we went from father-in-law to Soul Food to cookouts to plates again.
The chat. We do have viewers y'all know we love y'all. So the viewers. So this one you can blame it on instead of blaming it on the alcohol, we're gonna blame it on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. All right, I know. Some of y'all not gonna believe in this, and that's okay, and agree with me. But let me tell y'all, Mercury is in retrograde right now, and I am going to say it has been acting a damn fool. Like, I'm just like, what in the world is going on? Okay, so for those who are wondering, what in the double hockey sticks am I talking about? Allow me to share. That's you, Brian. Okay. Mercury retrograde is a period when the planet Mercury appears to move backwards in the sky from our perspective on Earth. This is an optical illusion caused by relative speeds of Mercury and Earth. However, in astrology, the phenomenon is associated with disruptions in communication, technology, travel, and decision making. So what they're saying is not a time for starting new projects or making big decisions, but rather a period of reflection and review. And so what happens during Mercury retrograde? Miscommunication. Expect misunderstandings, unclear conversations, and messages getting lost. And I have been a part of all of this. Technological glitches. Computers, phones, and other devices may malfunction. Travel delays. Flights and other transportations may get delayed. And one example I always go back to, that year when Southwest had that outage, when their infrastructure was flawed, that was during retrograde. Then they say relational issues, falling out with friends, arguments, and relationship problems can arise. So confusion and setbacks. Plans may be delayed or go awry, and it's not a good time for starting new projects. So one of the things they recommend if you're traveling, give yourself extra time for traveling and stuff like that. And then also it seems to be a reflection and review period. They say this period is ideal for revisiting old projects, ideas, and relationships, which I know I've had two people tell me sometimes when Mercury is in retrograde, they tend to hear from exes. So just something to think
You know that covers everything that happens daily.
I'm with Cola.
Cola just saying everything I'm gonna say, and I like as the new guy can't say it, so she's just
You
like,
can say it. You can
no,
say it.
just sit back and let Cola tell the truth.
Okay.
Like,
It's okay. That's why I started by saying just because one don't believe it don't mean that it's not true and it don't happen. But
It may be stronger during those times, but I heard you say optical illusion as well. So it's really not going on. It's an optical illusion.
look, I'm just sharing. So, but look, before we get ready to jump into Brian, did y'all hear, Cola? We had weird news last week, right?
Yes.
Shelly, you missed the weird news last week.
What happened?
The weird news last week was the guy that got killed by the unalived by the MRI machine wearing a gold chain. We talked about that. He went in to help his wife and had on a gold chain, and the MRI machine pulled him in and unalived him. Did y'all hear about the WNBA game when somebody, I think it was here in Atlanta, somebody threw a lime green dildo across the basketball court?
What?
so the problem is I have been Googling most of the stuff you've been talking about, like Sammy's cheesesteak and father-in-law day. I'm not gonna Google lime green dildo.
Go on and throw that in your algorithm. Let's see what else start coming up.
I did not hear about that story. I missed that one, fortunately.
No, I'll go ahead and put that in your algorithm and see what else start coming to you.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Yes, it just happened a couple of days ago. And they didn't stop the game right away, but they just saw and it bounced across the floor to make it so bad.
Oh, wow.
And that was a women's basketball game, right? Oh my Lord.
I mean, I imagine it's some type of rubber silicone. It would have some
Yeah,
type.
so
Yeah.
And then you hear the commentators, well, something just came flying across the floor, but they're not going to stop the game. And then when they stop,
they just played around it, huh?
Right. You see all the expressions on the faces. They like, oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, that just weird news.
I want to say, I guarantee that was a Republican.
A Republican. What did she say?
I guarantee that was a Republican.
That did what? That commentator
Threw the green dildo in the basketball whole session.
Interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't see the connection. But
that's probably where Shelly was missing.
I'm just at the game.
You had a pocket full of green dildos.
See that? There you go, attacking my character now.
Shelly, you know I'm playing.
But
I'm messing with you. I just don't know too many.
You know I'm playing, Shelly. Come on.
You know I'm messing with you, but yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't even touch one.
I would never attack your character.
And that's what happened. They say the guy that was getting ready to pick it up, and he realized what it was.
I wouldn't even touch it.
Yeah, right. You don't know where that thing is meant.
What it is.
And I wonder if I didn't look further to see if they caught the person who did it, because it's just like they gonna be ejected from the stadium. But yeah,
I'm just wondering where we are going as humanity. Like, what is happening to us?
It's definitely a shift.
Yeah.
Definitely a shift.
I'm telling you, there's a big F it button somewhere that somebody pushed. Yeah. They just hit the F it button and it said F it. The world just said F it.
Look, I can't say I disagree with you right about now.
I think for a lot of people, like for most of human history, you never had a chance to be famous. You never had a chance for most people to see you. You never had a chance for most people to know who you are. And this is their one chance. This is their 5 seconds of fame. Like, even if you're something that stupid, it's like, look at me. just for a couple of minutes. And
When
like
did we become
media
so
cameras,
thirsty? But how did we become so thirsty for the wrong attention? I
I
mean, there
really
was
think
a time when nobody would be caught dead with a dildo in their pocket. You might be doing dildo things behind closed doors, but you ain't gonna put it in your pocket
let
and
alone
be walking around with it.
a lime green one, they might see that thing poking out like you don't even need them to see it. Like lime green,
Right.
yeah.
What is
Shelly?
happening? Yeah, Shelly, I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say I just think the world is like there's no change. Like if you think of life history, and I think it was even Prince who said like 1999 was the end of the world, right? So if you think about it, all 1950, 60, 70, 80, 90, each decade was different. You notice a difference in each decade. From 2000 to now, there's no difference. Nothing has changed where you can say 2010 is different from 2020. So I think the world ended, and we're all just we don't know what to do. So people are just making stuff up as they go along, and it's acceptable because you're free to do what you want. Yeah,
So you're saying
we're
you
running
think the
out of
world
things to do. So now just like one trying to out top the next craziest thing, and it's just gonna
you
be
know what? I hope I don't offend anyone. Is it the I'm not even gonna say that. Let me
No, come
stop.
on. You look, you
I'm
don't
just
start
see
saying
that.
that
That's
I'm
an
just saying
example. That's an example of what's happening. We're afraid to offend, so nothing changes. No one is
because
has to think.
some people can't help who their parents are. We don't choose our parents.
Exactly.
So
So
I don't want to offend them. And what I was gonna say is, did the crack era tear us up that much? Is
It
it the crack
did.
babies?
It did.
Is it the crack babies that are growing up to be grandmothers and grandfathers now? That they've already produced, the crack babies already had their kids, and now their kids are having kids. So we have two generations of crack brain damage, two generations, and two generations past the 80s.
yeah.
Well,
What's
you
crazy
It,
know,
it,
is it's not us no more. We used to know it was us. It's not us no more.
but they did crack too now. They did crack tore them up too.
yeah.
Mm,
Well, this is where
okay.
I'm gonna take one since we was talking about movies. Oh, and look, going back to Soul Food, Brian, Cousin Pete was the one that never left the room because that's who Cousin Pete was on Soul Food. All right, now I'm just
the
gonna take a
old
line
dude,
and
the
say
really
this:
old guy.
Yeah, the old guy. I remember him. I remember him.
that was Cousin Pete. And I'm just gonna take a line from Nino Brown. It's deeper than Nino Brown from New Jack City. It's deeper than Nino
No,
right
I'm
now.
serious. There has been some rewiring of the brain. Seriously. There's been, because what people are saying is normal and the way people are acting like the abnormal is normal is just ridiculous. It's and will argue you down. Argue you down.
Because there's
You
no
know?
shame. You do what you
No
want.
shame.
You get shamed for it. We used to
Yeah,
get
but
shamed
it
for nothing.
sounds like you guys are talking about like everyday people when it starts from the top down. Like every single thing you just described sounds like our president. Like when you talk about the no shame,
Speak it, speak it, speak it.
Here we
the things
go.
that were the
Here we
rules are
go.
not the rules. You talk about trying to up top and updo. Like if that is what the head is doing, why is the body not gonna follow?
Come on
Speak
now.
it, speak it,
Come
speak
on,
it.
preach, Brian.
Speak it, but hold on. This was going on before he stepped in.
And he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Shelly, now Shelly. Okay, here goes Shelly trolling. Now
I
this is the
know what he,
troll.
I know what he meant. Like if you're gonna let me do it, why would I stop?
Not as the president, you shouldn't have that attitude. If y'all gonna let me do it, then why should I
No,
stop? Like,
no. Oh, we're not gonna start that conversation because at the end of the day, he shouldn't even been the president with those felonies and all this other stuff. He shouldn't have
give me
even
a,
been.
a virtual high five, bam.
If you're going to let me do it, why would I stop? If you're going to let me
It's
grab
not
a
against the
pussy and run
Wow.
and get elected, if you're going to let me have felonies and do,
Okay.
why would I stop?
it's not
That's
against
what
the
I'm
law.
saying.
So why is it an
That's
issue?
what Chili is saying. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Like, if he has the power, why is he not going to throw his weight around?
That and none of that is against the law. Just because it's not the
It
law,
don't have to be. It's
hold on.
against morality.
Morals
Whose
don't
morals?
apply in a country of laws. That's why we have laws, because morals don't apply. So just because it's not
No,
law,
no, it shouldn't be that way.
it's not against the law. So what's the problem? Just because it's new, you've never seen it in any aspect, not even presidential, but definitely that. It's just because no one has done it. Finally, someone has broke the mold, and it's like, oh my God, look what's happened. He did what people are doing what they want to do, or like Keith Bryan said, if you could do it, why not?
But
In
that
any
shouldn't be
aspect, if you're throwing
for
green
it.
stuff on the court, hey, no one got in trouble. You know, we got a few extra followers on my page because my friends, people do what they. You only do
But
what
what type of mature individual? What type of matured leader? I mean, that's not a part of leadership. It shouldn't be a part of leadership. Shouldn't be a part of being a mature individual.
it's just not
To
the
to
leadership we're
to
used to. It's just not what we're
to.
used to, or just not what we
And
want.
it's not just what we don't want. It's also what doesn't work. It causes chaos. It causes breakdown. It causes confusion. It causes friction. You don't get anything done. It keeps you stagnant and at a standstill place. You're only creating chaos.
But you have to also remember that the people that we don't think about, like
It's not effective.
it's billions of people. So we know a small fraction. So it didn't benefit the small fraction of our circle. But there's other circles that are definitely benefiting from it. So it's just their turn now.
Yeah, it's certain. No, it's always been their turn. It's always been their turn, and it's helping those whose turn it's always been.
So that means you're admitting that we've never received. So it's nothing new. It's the same thing.
Well, there was some progress being made,
Not
but
for us,
now,
ever. Ever in history was there progress for us.
well, I can say that you're not on Mr. Johnson's land anymore. You're not in chains and shackles anymore. He's not, Mr. Johnson and his
That
son
was
is not in the
hundreds of
cabin.
years
Hold
ago.
on, taking your daughter and the females in your family. So things have changed.
No, they
Now,
actually are. They're just doing them by the law now.
oh,
Like they were
where
saying
your chains at?
homes are being broken in by immigrants.
Show
I
me, show
tried to
me.
go to jail. That home was broken up.
Okay, but
Uncle
if you,
passed away and taken from his family, and he's in shackles and chains. Nothing is
where
changed.
yours?
Under a different. It's under a
Where
different.
where what you do you wear your chains? I know I own my land.
Yeah, you
I
think you own your
own
taxes. Stop
land.
paying
No,
taxes
no,
and then
no.
take it. You don't
Have
own
no.
nothing.
Okay, well, no, I have never known anybody to own land for the government to come in and take it. I don't.
I've known people that
Un,
won't pay their
un,
HOA and lose their land.
okay, but that's HOA. That's what you sign up for. That is in your contract. You are made aware of that in your contract, and that is what you agree to. But
I'm
when
just
you
saying
live,
it's not
okay,
yours. There's
so but
many
though
times tax
that
liens
was
that you lose it. There,
that's your that's what
I've
you
lost a home from nuisance abatement, or if you rent your
okay.
home and there's a drug bust just because the tenant sold drug, they take your property. You don't
Okay,
own anything.
so I have never seen anyone who owns land free and clear,
Mhm.
get their land taken
I've seen it.
unless the city was building an interstate through the land, it became some type of property in which they paid you for, and you had to move. Those are the situations that I have seen. But
But
other
that
than
means
that,
they took it. A lot of them people that they built the
those are
intersection
the
did not want to move,
yes,
so it was
but
taken from them.
okay, but other
There's
than
no
the
but, Cola. You
other,
can't justify it
no,
because
I'm
it
gonna
fits your
put a but
narrative.
because other than that, I have not seen
So
that the
that's
government just coming in and taking it. Hold on, just because they want to, or just because you are black, or just because you are a minority. When you own that free and clear, I've never seen that. I haven't seen it on the news. I haven't seen that anywhere. I haven't seen people complaining about it. I haven't seen people marching about it. I haven't seen it become a big issue in the United
I
States
agree. You
when
just
you
haven't
own it
seen it.
free and clear.
It
Just
happens
because
every
you're
day.
black or minority,
It
I've never
happens
seen the
every
government
day.
come and do that.
If they build a highway which is in an impoverished neighborhood, it's probably black and minority, and they take it.
And if they do that,
it's an abatement, they take it, and that doesn't
and if
happen
they
to other
Pineapples,
people.
and if they do, okay,
Pineapples.
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 But anyway, you get the gist of what I'm saying. You get it.
There's a
You
narrative.
get the gist.
Every scenario, there's a narrative that fits.
So my whole point is,
too many green beans. There's someone in every category of life.
you're absolutely right. But overall, when you look at the general population and what has occurred, that don't happen often. My point was from the beginning, we have come a long way because I don't see your chains, I don't see Tammy chains, I don't see Brian's chains, and I don't have none either.
Well,
Okay,
I've
we're gonna
seen
stop right
chains
there.
on me for stuff that wasn't against the law. They just said it was, so they chose to do that. That happens every day to people.
And you're right.
They take it from their family every day, black, white, green, purple, whatever. It still happens.
It happens, but what I'm saying, I said there is progress. I didn't say we were free. I said progress. Okay, pineapples.
Last one, and I guarantee the other side is saying, well, we made progress. Now we got, instead of our gowns and caps, we got 15 of us as judges. We got the 13 of us as lieutenants. The progress is on both sides. We just don't see it.
I'm not going to argue there.
For everyone on the planet.
Just as long as you acknowledge that there's progress.
Yes, ma'am.
We ain't where we should be. We're not. We see a lot of fighting.
Okay. But Cola, I'm gonna say, I probably don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say this. Somebody put in the chat, I bet Miss Sylvia will disagree with Cola.
She probably would, and I would disagree back by saying there is progress.
And
because again, we not on Mr. Johnson's farm.
We done with it. We done with it. That wasn't the topic tonight.
I know that, but this is a perfect segue. This is the perfect segue.
Well, good, because our topic tonight is Legacy Reimagined, closing the wealth gap with heart and heritage. And look, before Brian jumps in, I want to open the conversation for him with this statement. Wealth is a mindset. You can't think lack and have abundance at the same time. The universal laws don't work that way. So now, with that being said, Brian, hold on, let me read this comment. Chains look different today. Today is producing the mass population to go work 8+ hours a day and still get paid less. That was a comment, a chat.
I agree with that, and I can go into detail on that too, but for the sake of where we're going, I will not. But you're 100% correct, and I do agree.
Yes. And you know what? I have to agree with that too, because I even saw that.
It's a full circle thing. So it's not just I say one thing and that fits the mold for everything. No, absolutely not. I'm not one track minded. I do understand different systems.
Absolutely.
And how they work in different areas.
Got it. All right. So before we dive in, viewers, remember, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the chat and I will share them with the panel. So Brian, talk to us, since we done did a nice little segue into your talk. But Brian, I'm here to tell you, if I didn't cut it, they'll still be going. That's why I love them so much.
Look, they're as passionate about closing the racial wealth gap and creating generational wealth as I am. So it manifests itself in different ways, right? So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And when you start talking about your services and help the people, for those who are not familiar, BIPOC, what does that stand for?
Oh, BIPOC is just Black, Indigenous, or people of color. So I work with, literally, like Shelly said, black, white, green, blue, purple, anyone else. But the mission is to help close the racial wealth gap, because when we look at the points that both of you are making, we have been historically disenfranchised, left out, and even when we built up the wealth and the assets, it was routinely stripped and taken from us. And so when you look across this country, in any city, any of the demographics, we are often lacking the resources, the assets, and the knowledge that it takes, so that we don't still have these metaphysical change that appear differently today weighing us down. And It's not that the money solves everything, but it solves a lot of the problems. And when you are in a fight with the government where they're trying to take your land, or trying to take care of the people that you care about, having the resources to do so make those things make that fight a lot easier, a lot more fair.
Nice, nice. So let me ask you this: you've built Prosperitage Wealth with a focus on closing the racial wealth gap. What moment or experience first inspired you to take that leap?
Yeah, I remember I was working at a really large firm, great position, VP. Thought I had made it, and one of my good friends and fraternity brothers was up in New York, doctor, really smart guy. Had some couple of questions about his finances, and New York is a really kind of tricky place to do some work in. So hit my boss, asked them, how to engage, and they were like, if he doesn't meet the $500,000 minimum, he needs to be in this other channel. And it's not why I joined the industry. It left a really bad feeling in my stomach that people that looked like me, that were well intentioned, that wanted to make sure that they were doing right, were told that they weren't good enough, that they didn't have enough money. And so I wanted to make sure that people, regardless of where they were or how much money they made, had access to really high quality financial advice.
That happened to me. That happened to us. That happened to us at Fidelity.
What happened?
hmm
Speak on it.
We were looking for some really good financial advice and where to put our money. And we had to have a certain amount. It wasn't 500,000, but it was up there. Cash money before we could talk to anybody. Uh-huh. And but we had access to go through them to do other things, but to really get in there and have a meeting about where best to put our money, we had to have it was high up in the six figures.
Oh wow.
High up for us, yeah.
Oh wow.
In the
Yeah, and
six
I
figures.
just
I
felt
mean,
like
and it was probably worth it. And sometimes I still contemplate it, but it would be all that we have. You know what I'm saying? It would be all that we got, cash on hand. And I mean, and I know the information is valuable, but you never know what the stock market is going to do. You can make that type of investment just to get in the room, and then the stock market crashes, you know?
yeah,
So we can't afford to lose it. That's the thing.
just you're absolutely right, and I hated that feeling. It felt like being a trainer and telling someone to go get in shape before you train them. Like it
It's
was
so wrong.
like it didn't make sense. And when we have not had as long of an opportunity to invest, when we have not had the resources to actually invest, when we don't have the same safety net that other people have to fall back on, we have to feel a lot more secure. We have to understand a lot more. And when you won't even have the conversation with me, how am I supposed to feel comfortable with dealing with you?
And it was clear to me that in that world, there's redlining too. Just
Mm.
like they did redlining with housing, there's redlining in that world too.
Saying $500,000 is a red line. If
It
the
is.
net worth of a black family is 14,000 or 38,000 or whatever that number is now, and I say you have to have $500,000, to your point, not including your house, not including your employer
Yeah,
plan,
on
you,
hand cash
you know
flow.
exactly what you're doing.
I mean,
Yeah.
but how would so is that basically saying we're only going to deal with a certain caliber of people?
Yeah, I
Because
mean, it's absolutely
if
what it is.
you're going, my thoughts are if you're going to a financial advisor with, I don't care if it's $1,000, help me grow this $1,000. But you're
Don't
saying
work
if
like
all I
that.
got is $1,000, you're not going to get any of my time.
Girl, they ain't gonna even talk to you. I mean, it's
Now,
like,
in all fairness, $1,000 is kind of hard, right? Because if you think about it, like, how can you possibly compensate somebody if you only have $1,000, right? Like when someone has that, like I do pro bono financial planning on Friday, like literally anybody can come sit with me for an hour, get my best unbiased financial advice, but I can't charge them anything. Like there are other ways, there are other resources that I'm going to point somebody to that is just starting off, right? And then when you get to the point to where you turn that 1 to 10, there's another set of actions that are going to get you to that level to where that 10 is 100, right? So it's not that I'm saying that I don't understand it, because I kind of do. I just didn't want to be part of that system. And I knew that there were other ways to serve people that didn't include cutting out everybody to look like me.
Got you. And it also sounds like some that it not even just look like you. There's still some in the other, races too that wouldn't fall into
Oh,
that category.
the first two clients that followed me over, that the reason why Prosperitage Wealth thing was two older white couples that followed me from my own firm, believed in me, believed in my mission, and they were like, we don't really care in the firm or the name. We believe in you. We trust you, so we're following you. And if it wasn't for them, there would be no Prosperitage Wealth. So I thank them and remind them every time I talk to them.
See, that's big, because then when a person believes in you, then because when it comes to your money, you gotta trust the person you're dealing with.
Absolutely.
That's just like a non-negotiable.
And that's one of the barriers. That's the reason why we don't, right? If there are not people that look like us and talk like us and dress like us in these positions, it's going to create more barriers to entry. The same reason why I encourage so many women to join the industry. This industry is overwhelmingly white and old.
White men.
Right? Less than 2% of certified financial planners are Black. It's something like only a quarter of them are women. So we are very, very, very far and few between. And so if we don't do a better job as an industry of letting people know that this is a possibility, it's going to make it a lot harder to serve the communities that look like us.
And can I add, we are so behind on this. I mean, so behind. They were other races were, I mean, they were well into these investments in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We were still, and before then, we were still cleaning kitchens.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you were being literally or figuratively, but in your mind, like women couldn't even open up accounts without their husband, like the 60s.
Yes, no, especially Black people, and some Black people were still sharecropping while they were investing in the stock market. We are so behind on this secret. It's almost like a secret that's dead smack in your face that we did not have access to. And they had access while they were having 401ks. We were still taking care of their babies and in the fields while they were having 401ks. We knew nothing about it.
And putting money on the mattress, which gained.
We were putting, exactly. We didn't know anything about investment. We didn't know anything about making our money grow through the stock market, mutual funds, things of that nature. We were, like you said, putting our money under the mattress, the little money that we could get. We're so behind. And he's right. It's an open door for Black people. It's so wide open for Blacks. It's so wide open because we have been left out. We have a lot of learning to do, which is going to help us come up in a lot of different ways. We have a lot of education to learn in the area.
Yes.
That's why it's so important.
It very, very.
Go ahead, Tammy.
No, somebody put in the chat that is intentional because we were the first commodity of trade.
True. But I don't think we were on the stock market though. But but yeah.
Look, that's before that. Like those lots of slaves. That trade is literally what built this country. And so
yes,
it's one of the things when I tell people, like, kind of to the point, Shirley, this country has never been kind to us. Like when this last bill was passed, when people are like, well, what are we going to do? Like, we've always had to struggle. We've always had to make do. It has never been the case where they made things easy for us. And so what we absolutely have to do is learn the rules of these games and play by the same rules. What we can't do is say it's a secret, it's hidden, they're trying to hide it. No, we have to go out and find it. We have to go out and seek it.
Yeah.
It's up to us. They're not going to help us. They're not going to put us on game.
Do you think it's a secret, or they're not going to help us, or we just don't meet the criteria?
All three.
No. They're not going to put it out there, but it's not hidden, right? Like I always talk about, like the tax code. I always hate when people are surprised by taxes because they let us know exactly what the play is, exactly what you can or cannot do. It's up to us to go out and start the businesses, to take the tax credits, to get the deductions, to do the things that we need to do, right? And so I think sometimes we get so frustrated, they try to dribble out the clock on us, and it gets frustrating. And what we can't do is let them frustrate us, let them tire us out, give up, because that's what they are banking on. And
True.
so,
But when they have red line it, and it's not redlining in that field, I'm calling it redlining because that's exactly what it's mimicking. But when they have, you can't have, if you don't have $250,000 cash, you can't come in this room and talk to us about financial
what do
planning.
we do better than they do? We help each other. We build.
We do.
So
Exactly.
you got 250. I got 25. You got 25. Let's go find 10 people that got
We can
25
do the
and team up. And we don't do enough of that. If we don't have the resources enough, let's go partner up. Let's go find a mentor. Let's go find somebody
I
who
agree.
can get in that room. And let me just have a piece of that so I can learn.
But so
Now I agree with that 100%. But what I'm saying is, it is almost kept from us on
it's
purpose.
it's
That's what the red lining is for. But
We've
we
all
have to be
had to work twice
strategic.
as hard, right? For half as much.
That's right. That's right.
This is just the 2025 version of us working twice hard to get half as much. No, we don't,
Exactly.
but my boy has it and he has it and he has it and he has it. We
You're
go
right. So my point is, we are locked out, and because of that, there's not. That doesn't mean that there's not a way in. Let
go.
me finish. Let me finish. That doesn't mean there's not a way in.
Yeah.
Now, let's not act like they're not keeping this from us. That's the reason for you got to have 250, a quarter meal or half a meal to sit at the table. That they keeping it from us, but that doesn't mean that there's not a way around it.
I'm
Now
saying
we do have to be strategic. So there's a way, but let's not act like they're openly saying, "Here, let me give you this, let me show you this," because that's not happening.
no, but they've never done that. They have
They've never,
never in the history of this country have they done that.
ever,
So
ever,
yeah, no. All I'm saying
ever.
is the rules are a lot more. The rules are out in the open now. Whether you know where to find them or not, that's another question. Whether or not, even if you knew the rules, you could execute on it, that's completely different. But what
We
we
just
got
need to continue to be strategic.
that's what we got to do. What we've always done.
Yeah.
Shelly, you were about to say something.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think honestly, we just have to be honest because it's not redlining and not keeping it from us. It's just rules, and we haven't met the rules yet. Meaning, if it's just hypothetically, if it's a $500,000 mark, I guarantee a black man with $10 million are not excluding him from the table because he's black.
No.
So
No.
that's what I'm saying. So there's no redlining. It's just it's rules and we have to meet them. So the problem is that the companies, because like Brian said, they're not hiding it from us. It's just we don't put ourselves in position to do it. And yes, we lack the income individually, but team wise, we don't. We the people just won't come together to get it done.
Right.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
true. That's true.
It's not that the financial minimum requirement isn't because of color. It's because you have to think there's only so many investment brokers, such as Brian. If they have 20,000 clients, they have to set a cap somewhere or someone's going to get shorted out the deal. So it's not the problem of the minimum. The problem is there's not enough of Brian's available for us. So
That is true too.
yeah, so like I think once we start telling our people the truth that we got to come together, and instead of going to get a basic degree in something, you need to go shift your degree to something that'll help us as a people. Then we'll be able to fit in and compete with them. But if I'm a broker and I got 10,000 clients, at some point I gotta set a minimum at some point. So gentlemen like Brian, he's like, you know what? We don't meet that minimum. There's not too many of, not even you being black. There's not enough of us left over to cater to the smaller budgets. So we have to start branching off from these big chains and creating our own independent where we don't have as many clients, so we can help the smaller people. Because even if Brian, it's been that overnight, 33,000 people with 100 million plus come to him. he's going to have to say, and he's going to be shunned for this. He's going to have to tell his own people, look, I can't. Not because of your color, but you have to have this amount of money for me to give you the attention you need, because he has a family to feed and he has a desire to growth of his business. So it's just a matter of that and us getting mad at the ones of us that have that kind of money, the millionaires and billionaires that we call stars or whatever, that don't trickle down the knowledge or don't use a Brian to help him build up and do something for his people. So it's like it's not redlining or a black or white thing. It was back in the day in slavery and when women couldn't do this and that, yes, but it's not like that no more. So they have amassed more clients of their color. So why wouldn't they get them first? Because that's where they're making their money.
And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to increase that number of us that would be eligible, right? Like I'm trying to take the people who are trying to do right, who are making good money, who want to take care of their family, and teach them the things that they need to do to get to that next level. And then the majority of my clients, they're in this situation where they're the first person in their family to really make real money. They've never had someone to tell them what to do. They can't call up their dad and say, hey, can you introduce me to your investment advisor? Or, hey, remember that broker that you used to deal with? And so they have their friends and their cousins and other people that are taken care of, but they still don't know what it's like to make these decisions because, so often we think, man, if I just had more money, it would solve the problem. If I just made a little bit more, it would solve the problems. But we know that's not the case, right? We see it with these athletes. We see it with these entertainers. We see people that make millions and millions of dollars, more money than we've ever made. And we see them getting their child support adjusted and getting jammed up with their barbers and betting on their own games. Like, it's not money. If we don't have the habits, if we don't learn now, it's like not being a good driver. And then you get a faster car, you get a Ferrari, and you think it's going to make you a better driver. No, it's just going to make the crash out that much worse.
Yes.
We have to learn these fundamentals. We have to learn these basics. We have to set ourselves up for success. And then each one has to teach one. Because even if it was more me, I can't help everybody. So I need to make sure that I am making these lessons, these things that are secret or not known or whatever it is, easy enough to where you can go tell your boy and then he can tell his girl and then she tells her cousin and then we each start being better. Like that's what I'm trying to do. When I say I'm trying to close the ratio, I understand that I can't do it myself.
Right.
I have to do the things that will lead to that inevitability because I know it will happen.
Nice.
So what's the first thing we need to know? What's the very basic thing let's say someone is making, let's start with making just 50,000 a year. What could they better do to set themselves up? And then at 100,000, and what's the very basic thing?
I was gonna say when I have clients that I don't have a ton to make, but whether they're making 50 or 150 or 500,000, we start with cash. Cash rules everything around me. Like if you don't know where your money is going, what it is doing, whether it's working for you, so often we are just doing. I'll tell you a couple of things that I see that are just from 50,000 to 500,000. I see these same mistakes. Having too much money in cash. And that looks a couple different ways. Sometimes it's just having too much money in your checking account instead of a savings account. And if it's in a savings account, it's not in a high yield savings account. So your money's not even working for you.
Right.
People that have cash on hand that's earning 3-4%, but then they also have credit card debt. And it is really hard to run the financial race with cinder blocks on your feet of interest rate. And if you are paying debt and that is the
Okay. Can you pause there? Could you specify? I know what you're talking about, but could you specify for those who listening what the cinder blocks are?
Yeah, I mean, when you're making an interest payment on debt, like most credit cards are somewhere between 20 and 30% right now. Instead of you making $100 payment and you have $1,000 balance and it goes down to $900, that first $30 is going towards the interest. And so now instead of them calculating your interest on $900, they're calculating on $930. And so your money, instead of going and earning interest for you, it is going out the window and being depleted from your assets in the terms of interest. And so we see it and unfortunately, it's gotten easier and easier with the buy now, pay later, with the Affirms, the Klarnas. If you don't have a very firm idea of your cash flow, you can get in trouble. And that's why I said it's not just the 50,000 people. Malik Beasley got in trouble because he owed his barber $36,000. His dentist was garnishing his wages, and he made tens of millions of dollars a year. So it's not an issue of just making more money. Even people who make that amount of money don't know where their money is going. And so
it's about having financial knowledge, financial knowledge.
Most people,
financial literacy.
When I ask people just how they track their spending, some of them say an Excel spreadsheet, some of them say they write it down. Most of them, they just hope that their account's not overdrawn or in the red. Nobody, like for all of my clients, I use a program called Monarch Money. I love it. It's very similar. Like Mint everybody used to use Mint. Mint went out the way. But Monarch lets you track all of your expenses, your revenue, what you have coming in, what you have gone out, and where your money is actually going. And when I'm able to visually show a client where their money is going and how it is operating, it's a lot different because none of us are really good about that. So regardless of who you are, when we start working together, we're always starting with cash flow. And so, like I said, if there was
cash flow,
everybody figure out where your cash is going. Make sure that where you're spending money is aligning with your values. Because when you tick it up and you add it up, a lot of times we find that that's not the case. And I tell my clients, it's not my job to judge. I got clients to spend. Some of them like to go hunting. Some of them like strippers. Some of them like golf. I don't care where you spend your money. I just want to make sure that it's in alignment with what's actually important to you. Because so often it's not.
Right.
Okay, so could you talk about, Tammi, did you have any questions?
I do.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So the chat, someone asks, are ETFs that pays dividends better for long-term growth than mutual funds?
So I generally like ETFs more than mutual funds, just hard stop. I don't like the idea of money, particularly like A shares, where you will put $100 into your account and the first 5% is going to a broker going to fees. I love low-cost ETFs. So again, not financial advice, but Vanguard does a phenomenal job of keeping their funds really low, really diversified. So if you look at things like VLO, VTI, you're going to be able to be well diversified, have the full S&P, have the total stock market, and not be paying a broker a ton of money.
And for those who don't know, what's the ETFs?
Yeah, it's an exchange traded fund. So when you log on and you go to your Robinhood or you go to your app, or if you worked with me, you're not going to, let me rephrase. If you work with me, I'm not going to buy individual stocks. I don't believe that I have some magic crystal ball that is going to tell me that buy Apple today and sell it at this rate and buy Tesla. I believe in being diversified. So when you buy something like VLO or VTI, you're getting the entire stock market, either the entire state market, entire American stock market, or the entire world market. And so you don't have to pick winners and losers. There's guys at Vanguard that are getting paid millions of dollars to do that.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
What if okay, so you don't buy individual stocks, no matter what it is, because like I heard you say you like to diversify. But I was gonna say, what about something like, even though Coca-Cola is in a mutual fund, what about if someone just wanted to invest in that long term, a Coca-Cola or Pillsbury or General Mills, something that's been out there for over 40 years? What do you think about that? Is that a matter of style, or is just not a good idea?
It's a matter of style, and I would argue it's generally not a good idea, but that's because modern portfolio theory says that, not me. Like, what happens is you never know whether Coke or Pepsi is going to do good in any one given year. And so you are going to have, on average, less risk and more return buying Coke and Pepsi than you would
Right.
with the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was just going with the long history theory and the product that's been on top for years.
Is that the ETFs that you buy, they've already done that vetting. They've already picked
Mm-hmm.
that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
you
they
don't
have.
have to go through and do that yourself. That's why I said
Yeah.
I'm just going to outsource that to the guys that get paid to do that all day, every day.
Okay.
Ride their coattails.
What
That's
about
how much it's not a secret. I'm just going to do exactly what they do.
Bam. Bam.
Right.
I'm sorry, Shelly, what were you saying?
I would say, what about for people whose money isn't like consistent? They're not getting it every 2 weeks. It's not guaranteed a paycheck.
Yeah,
People who have businesses or
yeah.
hustlers, whatever they do, that some months are great, some months are not. What is the best plan or a plan of attack for that situation?
Yeah, have a lot of clients that are like that. Whether they be like lawyers who or people in sales,
Entrepreneurs, yeah.
entrepreneurs. I like to figure out what is it that we need, right? So there are certain things that every month we got to pay the mortgage, we got to pay the insurance, we got to pay X, Y, and Z, right? And then there are those things that are nice to have, right? How many times we go out to eat, how fly our outfit is this month. And I think that as long as we are taking care of the main thing, especially for those entrepreneurs and those women with zero income, giving ourselves enough cushion and runway such that we never have to dip below that standard of living that we'd appreciate. So for clients that are like one income household, I like to have 6 months of living expenses on hand in cash. And then if you got dual income, like maybe yours fluctuate, but your spouse has a steady income, 3 months of cash that I like to have on hand, because we never know. And the hardest thing is when you have those great months to remember you're still spending at this level. Like you usually make 5,000 a month. Just because you had a 10,000 a month, don't spend 75 or 85, because that lifestyle creep is what gets you in trouble. The biggest hack to getting rich and getting wealthy is living below your means.
Ain't that it?
Regardless of
Amen.
where you're at, just live below your means.
And hold on, and okay, so would you add staying out of debt?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
And
because some people believe
debt is not to say that you can't use credit cards, but debt is those cinder blocks. Like you cannot win the race with debt. You can't.
that's money that's going out of your pocket, out of that check every month. But you have some people who believe in not spending their own money. They want to get loans and they want to live off credit cards and invest in their business that way. I know you've heard that whole trend. Why spend your own money? Always spend somebody else's. But
If we're talking about starting a business, right? If we're talking about buying a house and we're getting some leverage, that's one thing. Not to
right.
buy your shoes, not to
No,
go.
no, 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 no.
You're not supposed to use other people's money to buy Beyonce content. You're supposed to use other people's money to invest in a business, right? And I think that's where people conflate two things that aren't the same and try to make it sound like
Right.
it's not.
Okay. All right. So, next question for you, Brian. You often say you would want to offer financial advice the way you want someone to treat your grandmother. What does that look like in practice?
Just meeting everybody where they are. Like I think that everyone's situation is so unique. I always say like whenever there's a financial plan, there's like the facts part and then there's like the feelings part. So even if somebody's facts, two people's facts were exactly the same, the way that they feel about that, the priorities that they have, the people that they want to see taken care of are so important. And so I just try to meet people where they are, like whether that's how they talk or how they dress or their education or how much money they have. I think that we're all deserving of financial freedom. And one of the things that I try to do is take these really kind of complex financial topics and make them digestible to everyone. Because I think that part of the reason why it feels so secretive is that they use these words that are longer than they need to be and explain it with charts and numbers and percents that nobody spends instead of making it understandable to a third grader. Like I do I've done a career fair a couple of times and trying to get kindergartners or first graders to understand like compounding interest and the value of delayed gratification is important. But if you can't explain something to a child, I question how much you really understand it. And so I just try to make it as simple and as easy as possible.
Okay. I have a question from the chat for you. What's the best way to diversify your portfolio if you have 25,000 in a checking account and have a mix of long and short-term goals?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just so hard without more context. But I would say the first couple of things that I would make sure is you always want to make sure that you're taking advantage of any employer match that you have. So that is literally free money. So you have a 401k, a 403b, TSP, whatever is through your employer. Make sure you're getting that free money.
Can I say something? Like, okay, could you explain even if it's at the minimum match? Because I have talked to people, it's like they only match 3%, they only match 2%. I'm like, that is free money.
I don't know how much free money is too little for you, but I want
Exactly.
free money. I want all the free money. If they were matching half of 1%, I want that.
There you go.
It is
It's free money that's going to the stock market that is going to be compounding interest. Like that money is going to make money. So you're
there's
throwing away future money.
it is a no-brainer. That, and that's why I said that is always the first place. So you definitely want to put money there, and that's going to be your long-term money because you can't touch that money until you're 60 anyway without penalty. And then, like I said, you want to have enough money on the short-term side to make sure you have either 3 or 6 months of your living expenses. And then the rest of those dollars, assuming you paid down the debt, you want to make sure that you're putting it in a taxable brokerage account. That is the one financial tool that I find so many people are missing because they have the retirement plan that's going to be for 60. They may have some cash on hand emergency fund for now, but they aren't able to take advantage of long-term capital gains. And we have to remember, long-term capital gains you can access at either 0 or 15%, and at the most it's going to be 20%. So most people very quickly get into the 22, 24%. Most of our clients are in the 32, 35% tax bracket. So to be able to get money at 15 is huge. I always say it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And if you're not taking advantage of the tax system to keep more of your money, you're getting played instead of playing the game like you're supposed to.
Mm. Wow, that's big.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's real interesting. Okay, so next question. What's one myth or misunderstanding about building wealth in Black and BIPOC communities that you feel most passionate about correcting?
Yeah, like I said, I think there's a huge mistr. I said the first one already. Actually, I think the first one is just if I just made more money. I remember making 30, $40,000 a year, and it's like, man, if I could just make 100,000. You make 100,000, it's like, man, if I just make 150, you make 10. And no matter what you make, and they all the studies say it, no one is ever happy with the amount of money that they make. And so I think that's the first thing that we need to get over. It's not about making more money. It's about figuring out how to make the money that we have work for us.
Mm.
Um, the second thing that I think is really prevalent is just the notion of like the overnight success, the getting rich quick, the what's the flip, what's the play to where I can these cash app scams and cryptocurrencies and things that what they say, fast money leaves you fast. I don't nothing that is going to come that quick is sustainable, is going to last, is going to be around. And so I wish that we would just have a little bit longer view. And it's hard, right? It's hard when you see the stats of our life expectancy and how much of it are incarcerated or lives are taken short from us, the different interactions and family members that we've seen not little. So it's hard to have too long of a view. But like the one way that I can guarantee that everybody become wealthy, that nobody's going to really want to hear or like, is just slowly. It's just slowly doing the right things day after day. Dollar cost averaging, paying down your debt, living below your means, investing in appreciating assets, not depreciating ones. It's simple. Like I have clients that were never making more than 50, $60,000. That are millionaires, retired.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
was gonna say there are a lot of teachers who got with whoever whatever system they were in here in Tennessee, it would be Metro, and just investing their money slowly but surely, invest on the teacher salary. And their retirement buying their properties. And because of their assets and their income, that this is assets including income, they're millionaires.
Yeah.
That's simple, a teacher. But again, it takes time. It's nothing fun. It's that's not a wow factor for. It just it slowly but surely, like the snail, but they made it. They retired millionaires.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right. The next question I have for you, Brian. The name Prosperitage Wealth is so unique. It feels like a blend of prosperity and heritage. Can you share the story behind how you came up with that name and what it means to you?
Yeah. I was trying to come up with something unique, right? Something that resonated with me. I didn't want just smooth sailing financial or see my financial or one of these kind of generic names. And I believe the words matter. I believe that what you speak matters. So even when Shelly was talking about me getting these clients in 100 million, I'm just like, I love that he's even speaking that. And I hate when clients will say things like, I'm just trying to get by, or I'm making it, or like these kind of struggle adjacent terms that is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to thrive. We're not just trying to survive. And so I want my clients to prosper. I want them to grow. I want them to flourish and be the very, very best versions of themselves, right? And like I said, for so many of them, they are the first people in their family. They're the first person to be making money. They are the no a whole new branch on their family treated unimaginable, even a generation before. And so I want them to be the one to create the heritage, to be the ancestors that the great grandkids talk about. Like, hey, remember when great girl Cola bought that land and then she started that business and then she's the reason why we got this whole island? Like that's what I want. Like I think it's super important. It doesn't help with my SEO on Google. It doesn't help the first time someone tries to say it or pronounce it, but I love prosperity. Like, and I want my clients to embody that.
I love
And the
it.
beautiful part of that is you're in the position to see how to make that happen. And I think that's probably why you love the language, because you're like, hold up, wait a minute, no, 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 don't talk like that, because this can happen for you. Yeah, you're in the position to see that it can happen. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know what, that you talked about what I'm opened you up with. That's a lack mindset. If you're thinking that you can't, then guess what? You can't. Because what it say, either you can, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So if you don't think you always have enough, that means you're kind of stuck in that mindset of lack, and you won't get to abundance that way. Even a lot of what you've been talking about, just think there are lottery winners who have won millions of dollars and have ended up broke. So even still, even in the midst of all that, is important to even change your mindset.
I'm huge on it. Very, very intentional about my language.
Absolutely. All right. So speaking of wealth and mindset, so you said that wealth is more than money. It's about freedom, choice, and peace of mind. How do you help clients redefine what legacy really means? And you kind of sort of just kind of touched on it, but just giving you that direct question.
Yeah. I think so often we have kind of arbitrary goals or numbers in our mind. I want $1 million, or I want to retire by 65, or these goals that aren't necessarily ours. Um, Sometimes a lot of people in jobs they don't necessarily like. And so I want to make sure that my clients are really clear on what they need. And what I don't want is for them to continue running this race when they've already crossed the finish line because they thought they needed $1 million and they only needed 800, or they thought they needed to work till 70, but they needed to retire early. I mean, one of the most heartfelt things one of my clients told me is he's like, Brian, I owe you the world. He's like, I would have kept working if it wasn't for you. I thought that I had to get this goal. Guys at Fidelity tell me had to keep putting them plan. And he's like, now I'm just enjoying retirement. He's like, I'm getting to travel. I'm spending time with my wife. Um, and that's the one thing that we never really get back, right, is the time, because we think that the legacy is only when you have enough money to donate and get the hospital wing named after you. But I don't come from money. I don't come from wealth. but the legacy like that my grandfather left my father, that he's instilled in me, like that I'm putting into myself, like that's what legacy is. It's not a material thing. It's the knowledge, it's the care, it's the fortitude to get what needs to get done when it needs to get done. And so I think that if we are defining legacy as some type of material goal, then we got a really bad and narrow definition of what that means.
And something that you said, and it's so true, because one thing, even though Cola said earlier somebody has pushed the F it button, we really are living off the thoughts of others. And a lot of our programming, right, is like, like as a woman, like as a little girl, we was programmed play with little dolls, and then when you get older, you want to get married and have a house with a white picket fence and have children by a certain age, just like you said about retirement. So it's really important for people to identify that, because a lot of people don't know what they want, because they spent their whole life trying to live someone else's dream, someone else's life. That's why it's even important, like, when people find themselves competing with others, stop competing with others. Who are you? What is it that you want for yourself? That's what people really need to truly find out. Like, I do hear people say, "Oh, I want to retire by the time I'm 60." But then a lot of them, check this out, or 65. Then they get there and then they're bored and they're looking for something else to do, because they just thought that was the goal. You know what I'm saying? That's
I'm a
somebody else's thoughts.
It's so horrible. I try to make sure that my clients are retiring to something, not just retiring from something. Like
Oh, you are so good.
you
Yes.
look at divorce and depression and some of these things that afflict disproportionately the older community, it's because they don't have a purpose. It's because they've been so tied to it, because they've worked so hard for so long, they can't even imagine what it would be like not to work.
Mm.
And then too, the generation before us, like my mom's generation, they spent their years just tying loose ends together, tying loose ends together. This language comes from my mama. Tying loose ends together, making it work, putting it together. And so when they, like you said, when they do retire, there's no hobby, there's no what I do for
Friends, there's
enjoyment. Yeah, because they've been hustling and tying things together for so long in that generation. So you're so right. And we're the generation where, we have done a little, it's been a little bit easier for us. But excuse me, even with us, when we retire and to nothing, we still deal with the same thing though. So retiring your clients to something is so
I like
beautiful
that.
and so forward thinking. It's so forward. It's so insightful.
Thank you. I forgot
I
about
got
Mhm.
a question. What is the solution for the family that doesn't have thousands of dollars left over at the end of the month to invest? That they just made ends meet, and if they cut out, I don't know, an outfit, eating out, they might have a few extra hundred to put into something. Is there a solution for them, or are they? Is it lost? Is it?
No, I appreciate that question, because I always say at the end of the day, there's only one or two different levers we have, right? We can either make more money or we can spend less. We can only spend less to sell them out, like, right? We still got to eat, we still got to do something, we still want to enjoy some of our time, right? And so when we talk about making more money, that's the hard part, because yeah, part of that is investing. But if you're talking about somebody that doesn't have a ton of money to invest, what I would probably tell them is to figure out how we can turn that into something that will make them more money. So, can we take a class to where instead of making $17 an hour, we can make $25 an hour? Can we start learning how to do Canva and CapCut so we can jump on and we can start editing videos, or we can start doing something else? Because those are the only levers, right? We all got the same 24 hours as Beyonce. We just got to figure out what we're going to do with them. And so, if we know the stock market is going to be a long-term play. And even if we run that play, it may not get us to where we want to, but we got to change the math. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get another skill.
So invest in self.
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you to invest in the market. I know that might sound weird coming from a financial advisor, but at that point, you might need to just be investing in yourself so you can be earning more for your hours. And there's so much free stuff out here now between, YouTube and LinkedIn and these Coursera, like these different courses.
Mm.
There's a lot of skills that you can learn out here, and it's getting great because it used to be the case you needed a college degree, you needed a master's degree. Now, if you got the skills, man, people will hire you, people will pay you. So that would be my advice. It wouldn't be go buy VLO or VTI, put $100 a month and wait 30 years and now you have $10,000. That didn't change your life. But if you can start right now making $10, $20, $30 more an hour, yeah.
And you know what? Even in that, investing in yourself, one would be surprised. Even doing something that you may love can generate money. Like a couple weeks ago, we had Chelsea Speaks on here, and she was saying how she was running her business and doing things, but of course needed some more income. And she just put everything that she was doing that she loves doing on a resume, and ended up, with a high paying job from doing what she loves. And so that's also something too for people to think about as well. We've been programmed, we have to use that word, we've been programmed to what was said earlier, the 8 hours, and get that work, that job. But sometimes, even if you find that thing that you love, it can be profitable as well. I heard you say like Cap Cutter, like editing videos. You just never know where the wealth comes from.
I got a client that she lost her job. She was upset about it, but her and her fiance, they're getting married soon. They play video games. They got some good banners, so they started Twitching. They started Twitch streaming. She is, I think last time I was watching, she said that she's replaced her income playing video games with her husband instead of going into a job driving into the city. And it's like, it's just such a beautiful thing that you can create a life that is fulfilling for you and financially meet your goals. And so, yeah. Like I said, we are the people that make stuff happen, that make sounds that weren't even music and dances that weren't even a thing into a thing that everybody wants to do. So I would
You
just
are speaking.
like, yeah, we just got to make it happen.
Man, listen, as soon as you said the making sound into music, I thought about that Trillville songs, some cut where they start with the chair.
Yep,
They took a
Hold on,
squeaky
with the mattress.
no, it's a squeaky chair.
Oh, is that it? I thought it was a mattress, but it's a
It's a
chair.
chair. But yeah, and it's I can't even try to do the beat, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And when I think I heard an interview about it, but it was a chair, and I promise you, like, that song was a hit. So you just never know.
It's what we do.
This is what we do, where the magic happens, and literally. So even though you kind of explained it, so what would you say to someone who thinks legacy is only for the wealthy?
Yeah, like I said, I think that we are in control of what our legacy is. I think that there are plenty of people who are pillars who will stand the test of time that weren't wealthy. I think that the reason why we remember those that came before us is not because of necessarily the wealth, right? It's because of the way they made us feel. And
Yeah.
so when we talk about like the most finite resource, the most important asset being our time, I think that the way that you spend your time is what makes your legacy, right? And
Ooh.
wealthy or poor, we all have the same amount of time, right? And I think that's what really separates and what's really creates that.
That could be a topic all by itself. That is so rich. That is so rich what you said. Yeah. Because we all have the same time, like you said, and all end up in different places and different spaces, but we all have the same allotted time. So it's what you do with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that river goes real deep. That I mean, because like even going back to what you was talking about earlier, you some people part of the crackhead, generation, and then people still have. I think I heard reference to the plantation. People still have that mindset. Then the lack and the poverty and the culture, the environment. It's just so many moving parts in that, but it does start with a change. It can change. That's the beautiful part out of everything that I said. A shift can change it all. So, Brian, in one sentence, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Not just financially, but spiritually or socially.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever answered any sentence of my life in one sentence or any question of my life in one sentence. Um, I would just want my legacy be that I made things better. That every time that I interact with someone, I want them to be a little bit better off having met me than not.
Yeah.
Whether it's a smile, whether it's a thought, whether it's something they could take with them. Um, this industry, right? Like I want people to say he made financial planning, he made it easier, he gave more access, um, and he left things better than he found them.
Sweet. Sweet. So there's an ask for you in the chat. What book has been the most influential that you encourage the average person to pick up?
Yeah, I read a lot, as you can tell. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is just such a classic. I mean, it's part of the reason why I keep it up, even though it's all bent up because I read it so much. I think that our mindset is so important, and I think that like humans are really bad at some things. Like we're really bad at like really big or really small things. We're bad at like looking like really far in the future. We're bad at like understanding how things compound and being able to have a dream that is so big and so audacious that it scares you um, is important because if your dream is not so big that it scares you, like it's just not big enough. And I think
Mm,
that having that mindset, um, and I think that book's over 100 years old. Like there's some things that are
1937.
just tried and true. Like that would be the book. Average person, easy to read, not going into all the technical stuff, and you can revisit it as many times as you need to.
1937. It was written.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I know about Think and Grow Rich. And also, look, I will add to that. Shelly, did you ever read the Game of Life and How to Play It? I finished listening to that. You on mute.
I said
Um,
actually I read it a few times. And I keep it close at all times.
yeah, that was a good one. I am going to add The Science of Getting Rich. Um, oh, who was that by? And then I just finished. In fact, I'm trying to listen to it every day. Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. um that book right there, I feel, will change all of our mindsets if we do it. And then of course Cola and I love The Science of Mind, but that's like an 11 hour book, audio book, but very powerful book because
Ooh.
everything that you just said about mindset shift is needed, even where money, wealth, legacy.
Period.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. That's where it starts. That's the very foundation. How you are thinking. That's the foundation.
That's
Step
all.
one.
But yeah, that's what they're all like. I saw Corporate T put in the chat. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That's a phenomenal book. That's a great plug right there. Corporate.
And he said The Psychology of Money. I like that. And then also, let's see. Our girl, our queen, Miss Sylvia said, Maya Angelou always said, people remember how you make them feel more than anything else. Excellent info tonight. Yes, queen, we agree with you. And
That's so true.
that's it. And so even when you were saying, it was interesting that you said something about even a smile, because that's one of the things God told me long time ago. Like, smile at people, because there are some people who they avoid making eye contact with you. They avoid looking at you, but it's not you. It's stuff that's going on inside of them. So when you give them a smile, you're sending a little light and positivity into their day. And don't get it wrong. It does sometimes get confused for like, oh, you trying to flirt with somebody, but you know, that be the problem. But that's a them problem, not a me problem, because that's my mission, my ministry. I'm gonna smile at people. You know, that's just one of the things that God instructed me a long time.
Listen, girl, the world that we live in, everything is sexualized. Girl, this man swore up and down that I was flirting with him on. I said, I know when I'm flirting with you. How you gonna tell me I'm flirting with you? I'm not flirting. I don't want to flirt with you. I don't. You not. Anyways, no, I'm not even. I'm not even on the market. I'm just a friendly person.
Exactly. But see, the problem is people are not used to friendly people. And that's another thing. And again, that's within them. And that's, you know,
Like you said, yeah, yeah.
whatever their story. But Brian, this was some good information. Thank you so much for joining us and coming and dropping these gems on
Absolutely.
us. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, I really, really appreciated the time. Really appreciate the conversation. You guys need to have me back. Let me know. I'm never far away.
Oh
So
yeah,
Well,
you
I have a question before you leave
okay.
or before we close out. And I would just like to know for those people who are thinking about going into investments, what are some, because a lot of people are afraid of coming in of losing their money. They're afraid of coming into scamming financial planners. How do they avoid that? And what are some of the red flags
yeah,
that they need to be looking at?
great question. So I'm pretty biased, but I think that everyone should work with a CFP, a certified financial planner. That is the gold standard of financial planning. It's there can be a relatively low bar to get in this industry. So somebody could be working for a firm for a couple weeks and tell you they're a financial planner and you may not know. So look for a CFP. You got to take a lot of education and they got to have 2,000 hours. The other thing is you always want to go on broker check and just check somebody's record, make sure they don't have any disclosures, make sure they haven't run off with anybody's money before. And so the great thing about our industry is all that information is out there. It's like really clear, really easy to find. And then I also think, again, this is my bias coming in, that you should find a fee only planner. Not to say that commissions don't have a place in the world, but I don't want someone who's getting paid to sell me something and only gets paid to sell me something. I want someone that is giving me advice that is based, um, that's not going to vary based on how much they get paid. And so those are the couple of things I would say. Find a CFP, go on broker check and make sure you don't have any red flags literally from the industry. And then if you can't, find a fee based planner. Someone you can just pay a flat fee to, and you don't have to worry about them selling you a whole bunch of extra stuff on the back end.
And that's what I was getting ready to ask. The fee base, like, is it so I'm assuming your fee is a flat fee,
Mm-hmm.
because I do know, like, I want to say some of the fidelity accounts or some of it anyways, but they'll work with you, but they'll work for a percentage
Yeah.
of, and of course that would, you know, then you sharing your profits with them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. And so I don't even have a problem with that. Like if it's going to be a percentage fee, again, I don't want it to be more than 1%. Like I've seen 1.5%, 2%. What I
okay,
don't want is I have a lots of people that are like, oh, I don't even pay my financial advisor, and they don't realize that the products that they're
Yes, you
paying, the
do.
investments that they're making, there is a cut that they're getting. And so
yeah,
I think it's
that's where
just
they're
really
paying.
important to be clear on how your person gets paid. Like even those hedge funds guys, they get paid 2 and 20. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I appreciate that they make it clear on what you're paying. I never like when it's kind of fuzzy, hazy. How exactly are you getting paid? What's going on here?
Right. Make it clear. Make it plain. Like you
Exactly.
said, dealing with your grandmother. And that's really important. So another question for you. What's the requisite for your clientele?
Yeah. So again, I don't have any investment minimums, but my annual fee for an individual starts at $3,000, and that's billed monthly. So it ends up being $250 a month. And then for
Okay.
couples, it starts at $4,500 a year, which I think is $375 a month. And so it doesn't matter if you have $100,000 in assets or $1 million in assets. That's where we start. So I try to make it affordable for everyone.
Okay.
And then, like I said, for people who can't afford it, I do pro bono financial planning on Fridays. So you can drop in for an hour, get objective, unbiased, high quality financial advice, and not have to worry about meeting somebody's minimum.
Okay, so you went into what I was getting ready to say once we wrap this up, but because you just said that, look, you did a segue into that.
Um,
How can people contact you for this? Look, and look, the chat just asked the same question. What's the information? How do they get in contact with you?
yeah. So you can always go to my website, Prosperitage Wealth. That's PROSPERITAGE Wealth. So you can go to prosperitagewealth.com. You can find me on Instagram at Prosperitage, or my personal one is BKSTWO, like Brian Q. Seymour II. LinkedIn, Google. I'm pretty easy to find, and like I said, I try to make sure that you have something valuable to walk away with. And if we work together, great. If I need you to send you to someone else is more appropriate, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So reach out.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Well, I'd like to know how many people have you retired? Do you keep count of that or
No, no. So at my previous firms, I had over 1,800 clients that I was responsible for. So like literally thousands. I am pretty confident that I'm not going to have my personal number of clients that I'm working with be over 100 now. So I probably have a half dozen clients that are retired right now. I work with a lot more clients. So part of the focus of closing this racial wealth gap is working with younger clients. So most of my clients are between 30 and 50 now. I got a couple that
okay?
are retired, but I'm what I hated was people who would constantly be like, "Oh, I wish I would have found you sooner. I wish I would have met you before. I wish we would have." And so now when we can make these decisions at
On the begin, yeah,
40 on the front end, we
the
can
front end.
hire you earlier, avoid some of these mistakes that we're kind of cleaning up and dealing with some of the things that I
So
see.
even let's say, and I hear you, your age group that you are working with. But even when you were working with the other firm and even in your personal life, have you not, and when I say retired, I don't necessarily mean retired early. I just mean helped retire at the retirement age. How many people have you gone through that process with?
Many.
Helps help set up and then go through that whole process with like you've been with them that long to go through that process.
I would imagine several dozen, if not over 100.
Okay, so you've had that kind of
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. Well, I have another question for you. What
yes,
all do you receive by becoming a client?
yeah. So there's 5 areas of financial planning that I like to say that I go through. I already talked about the first one. We go through cash flow and budgeting. So we are going through line by line what you spend, helping hold you accountable and reach those spending savings goals. We're going through all of the risk management. So health insurance, life insurance, disability, home insurance, auto insurance, anything that could go wrong, we want to make sure that we're protected in case it does. The investment. So your employee, 401k, 403b, retirement plans, college savings for your kids, 529 essays, brokerage accounts. So any type of investment that you're doing, making sure that we're appropriately diversified. We're not paying more fees than we're doing, the quarterly rebalancing, all of that good stuff. Tax planning. Tax planning is the big one because I mentioned it before, but you can make all the money in the world, but if it's going all on taxes, it doesn't really matter. So being really strategic and proactive. So I work with a lot of clients who have CPAs or tax professionals to make sure we're coordinating that. And then lastly is estate planning. So one of the largest areas that we mess up when we're talking about creating generational wealth is that transfer. Make sure we have a will in place. Make sure we have a power of attorney in place. Make sure that we have our trust set up. Make sure that our accounts are titled correctly. And so we set up all of those documents, partner with a firm, and we make sure that you have your last will and testament, power of attorney, HIPAA authorization, living will, and any trust that we need for minor kids, business interests. And so I say those are the 5 areas, but there's not too many things that don't fall in those areas. It's been helping clients negotiate their salaries, purchase vehicles or houses, figure out their stock options, monitor their credit scores, pay down debt. If there's a dollar that's
You can handle it.
adjacent to it, yeah, I want you to give me a call. Absolutely.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Shelly, were you about to say something?
No.
All right. All right, chat. Any more questions? This has been Brian, like this has been some really good stuff here. So I already feel some of us are in our heads figuring out, okay, when we gonna connect with you so we can yeah, look, you can hold us accountable as we grow to our wealthy status. So thank you so much for the time and space that you granted us being on the platform this evening. So I like to ask for final words. So Shelly, our resident realtor, any final words you have for the people about our talk or anything tonight?
No final words. I will say that for Brian, it was very informative. You definitely, I can tell you know exactly what you're talking about. I've ran through so many advisors, and times it was up, times it was down, that I left like I could have did that myself. But I really appreciate the knowledge you've given. It's very informative, and I hope people take advantage of it. Outside of that, you know, real estate wise, look out for me. Come check me out. Shelly.solutions on Instagram, and that's it. And I know I have other ventures, but I'm gonna stick to that tonight. And yeah, and hope everybody listened and took advantage and paid attention, because that is a very huge part. Even in the real estate, a lot of my clients I see have it, buy these homes, don't know how to manage the money. Then I see them years later, even myself, be like, dang, we have to have money. And a lot of people don't know that they don't know. They're too prideful to ask. And here's your chance. I don't want to put too much on your plate, Brian, but call them no matter if the question is dumb to you, because that might be the one question that saves you. So take advantage of this opportunity. It's
Absolutely
very important, especially for us as a community.
I agree, and especially with all the things that he's offering, and I love it. So I
very grateful.
Yeah. Yes. And look, Brian, for Shelly to say that, bruh. For real though.
The real compliment right there.
Yeah. Listen, you better know you came through and you showed up and showed out. Cause we done had some behind the scenes with Shelly that the public don't know about. So
hold on. And not only that, when it comes to final thoughts and words, I'm gonna tell you what I've seen. If Shelly don't necessarily agree or think it was just bull crap, he ain't gonna say he ain't gonna say nothing. He just this is what he's gonna say. As I always say, think for yourself. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. That's what he's gonna say.
Hey,
as I always say, think for yourself.
Hey, think for yourself sometimes.
That's what, that is what he's gonna say. Yes. And then he's gonna go into his real estate. Yeah. That is going to be his ending if he think he wants some bull crap or he don't necessarily agree.
Yes, that is true.
Definitely.
Glad I passed the test.
Yes, you did.
Me and
y'all
Tammy
doing?
will be nice about it. Me and Tammy will be nice about it and try to pick out the. We try to get the meat from it, but Shelly ain't giving it. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I gotta get my composure. Cause Cola called. She nailed it. She nailed it. Cause that's exactly what he does. That is it.
Hmm.
Oh gosh. Okay, Cola. Any final words, my love?
Yes, I really appreciate Brian and what you're doing in your space and having a heart for your people to join you in the space
Yes.
and to provide the education for us. I just want to thank you for doing what you're doing, and I just wish you more power, more blessings, more success in what you're doing, um, because you're changing lives, and not just in one generation, but generations down the line that we can't even see. Your work is very, very important, and I thank you for it. And I'll be calling you. I will be
Yeah,
calling
I
you.
was
I mean,
gonna ask, are
Yeah,
you people out of state can reach out to you too,
yeah,
right?
I work in all 50 states. I got some clients in Tennessee. Yeah, I
yeah,
got some clients down in Florida.
yeah.
Okay, that's a
I'm definitely going to be calling you, and your work is very, very important. It is. You're doing some important work.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
Thank
I
you.
yeah.
look at it as a ministry. I really
It
do.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
what
is.
you're doing to me is a ministry,
Mm-hmm.
because you know the purpose behind it, right? You want this to transcend generations and the wealth to be in the community and bring us together. So to me, that's a ministry all day. I'm just saying.
And I mean, he's feeding us knowledge that we just, we're not aware of. It's there, but we're not aware of it. And he's, yeah, and wants us to be aware of it and want more people to join him.
Yes,
Yeah,
Exactly.
actively.
yeah.
Exactly.
So
Love it, love
it's
it, love
beautiful. So I hope people in the chat have taken heed and taken notes because honestly, if I know, I wish we could have gone a little deeper, but this is very surface level what we talked about tonight. But even with that, this was pen and paper worthy. It was pen and paper worthy.
Thank you.
it.
Yeah.
And you know what? To that point, Cola, we'll bring Brian back and go deeper. That's all.
We need to. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring him back and go deeper.
Yeah.
That's just as simple as it is. So Brian, when you will converse on a new date and time, and let you come back and give the people what they want.
Sounds great.
Yes. Any final words from you, Brian?
No, I mean I appreciate the time. I enjoyed the conversation leading up to me having a floor a little bit. I told you guys before. I really appreciate you guys giving me the space. Like I said, this is something that I'm really passionate about. I know that I can't do it alone. So when I'm given platforms like this to be a megaphone to reach the people, it really means a lot. So thank you guys for being so gracious with your time and your space.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So we do appreciate you, and as always, I just also like to share that my service, the services that I provide, for those who don't know, I am a life coach and transformational speaker who would love to be a part of your event as either a speaker or MC. You can obtain more information at www.thassawoman.com. And so, listen, I know you guys know Brian provided some valuable information. So please support us by giving him a like, a thumbs up, and drop. Well, we've been seeing the comments. So thank you guys for that. And then also, I want to give you guys a heads up. Next Wednesday. If I was in the church, I would tell you to look at your neighbor and say next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is Wisdom Wednesday, and the topic is sex and spirituality.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to top that one. Yeah, like yeah.
And we're gonna have a guest speaker with Miss Sylvia because Miss P is will be touring the motherland. She'll be in Africa. Funny, Cola, you mentioned Africa earlier. So Miss P won't be with us, but she is going to have a gentleman with us. So therefore, you want to come back next Wednesday at 7:30. So remember, subscribe if you are not a part so you can get the notifications. And also next Monday at 10 a.m. I don't know if you guys caught me last month, but I was on mix106radio.com. I'm going to be the co-host again on Monday. So if you guys are on the internet Monday, mix106radio.com, yours truly will be live with the Mr. DC himself. So I'm just excited that I was granted another opportunity because I had a ball. DC was a total fool and gonna tell me I'm silly, but that's a whole nother story. But listen, everyone, with much love and gratitude, I just thank you all so much for being a part of it. Viewers, thank you. Much love to you, Cola, Shelly, Brian. Much love to you. And so, as we end this tonight, I'm going to leave you all with this. You will either learn to manage money or the lack of it will learn to manage. I'm sorry, the lack of it will manage you. That came from Dave Ramsey. My words to go with this: in a world where they do the best they can to keep people with a lack mindset, it's important to know that abundance and prosperity is your God given birthright. Live it, believe it, and know it. Stay blessed, and I say peace, love, and blessings. Good night.